I'm going to kind of force my way in to make sure that I get to. So, thank you guys for being here. This is the first of a 3-part webinar series that we're doing for you guys on sort of everything social media. So today it is going to be pretty basic stuff. We're talking really basic things, but it's always good to have a base, obviously, before you kind of dive into everything else. And kind of know why we're doing what we're doing and stuff. This is being recorded, so I will be able to upload this to YouTube, and any of the agents down there who missed this will be able to see this down the road. I mean, I'll have it up on YouTube later today, so you guys will be all set for agents who missed it. If you haven't noticed by now, there should be a little chat box that you can ask me questions in as we go. So if anybody has questions about something I said, about something I may have skipped over, write it in. Let me know. I want it to be as collaborative and sort of open conversation as possible. So yeah, this is day 1. This is the Facebook basics, kind of the basics of how to. So this week paired with the next one that we do, which is 2 weeks from now, are going to be I would say the 2 more important ones, purely because I always say, let me try something real quick, you know what, because this is going to be boring until, I was hoping that I could change it to show, like my camera, but I don't think it's going to let me do like a Skype sort of thing. So maybe it's this one right here. Bear with me, I'm finding buttons as I find them. Hey, cool, it's working. So then we should do this to everyone. I think, can you guys all see me? Or is it just, no. Let me see. So write in the chat if you can actually see me right now, because it looks like you might be able to. Yes, awesome, cool guys. Okay, great. I'm glad you can see me. So, this week and next week, like I said, are the 2 more important trainings, I think, because today we're covering the how to post, how to create a business page, how to stay in compliance. And those things are obviously very important, but next week in particular, we're going to cover the why. What's the philosophy behind what we're trying to do? What is our goal when we're posting? What kind of marketing are we doing when we're doing Facebook marketing, social media marketing? And both of those halves are really important, because if you just have the how, but you don't know why you're doing it, which I see a lot, then you don't really put in the right effort to it. I see a lot of people who say, well, I know so-and-so had success on Facebook, and I've been told I got to be doing it, so I made a page, but I don't really, do much on it. And it's more of like they don't know why they're doing it, what they're after. They've just seen other people do it. And then, of course, the flip of that is if you know what you want to do and why and what your goals are, but you have no idea how to actually accomplish that, then you're just sitting there with your wheel spinning in the dirt. I guess probably mud. Wheel spinning in the mud. So we want to take both of those halves, and I think those together are what makes you successful. Is you know how to be dangerous on Facebook. You know how to post and do video and things like that. But you also know why you're doing it. You know what you're trying to accomplish with it. So this week is the how, right? This is how to make a page. What else do I have written here? How to make a page, how to stay in compliance. We're going to go over a couple of things that, from everything that we've read, keep us in compliance. Now, I'll say this later too. One of the big issues that we're having with NAR, with our local boards across all of the states, and I'm sure the same down there, is that a lot of the laws that they're giving us are 20 or 30 years old, and they're trying to just copy and paste it onto social media stuff, and that just really does not work at all, right? Because like they're completely different beasts. So I'm personally working on that to try to get some of the states and laws to like redefine things more specifically. But when we go over compliance today, there's going to be some of the stuff that we go over that we think as the Schmitz is kind of like our company guidelines that should keep you compliant across the board. And then we're going to talk about how to post. Oh, inviting friends and how to post. Now, like I said, this is going to be recorded, so you'll get to see this later. But I would also recommend not necessarily, if you're taking these steps now, don't follow along during the presentation, because as you'll notice, there will be a couple things that you kind of need to have prepared ahead of time that would be good to have, as opposed to like doing them right now, because if you get to a certain point, you might not have the right material. So I'm actually just going to, for fun, do this. Cool, took a screenshot of that. Okay, so now we're actually going to get back into it. So let me try to turn off this camera. We've hidden webcams, but you're still sharing your webcam, and I don't want to do that anymore. Okay. Okay, so now you guys should be seeing my screen. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to Facebook, right? So I'd say 95% to 100% of what we're going to do today you can do from mobile. Personally, and this is purely personal preference, I like doing a lot of this stuff from the desktop. Just because I like having the screen here, having everything here, as opposed to scrolling with the phone and like doing things wrong and pressing the wrong button with your thumb and et cetera, right? So I do it from the computer when it comes to business related stuff. But you can do it from your phone, and whatever you do here will reflect to your phone. So, like I said, if you have questions or comments at any point, and if you need me to backtrack and say something again, or if I skipped over something, please let me know. But the first thing you'll want to do is go to Facebook, right? Facebook.com and log in. Still working through my morning coffee, so if there's a couple breaks, that's why. So, what you have to have done first, and this might sound pretty basic, but make sure you have a personal profile, right? Make sure you have your own JD or whatever your name is, probably personal page. You can, I've only discovered this recently, you can technically have a business page without a personal page, but it really, really dampers your initial success with the page, in my opinion. So have a personal page, but be logged in on Facebook.com. So what we want to do, is create a business page. It's a little bit different than a personal, actually it's a lot different than a personal page. So 2 places you can do that. Lower left-hand corner right here, let me zoom in, there's a section that says create, right? Add page group. You can click on create page right here. Or, if you guys haven't seen Solo, it's pretty good, but I'm a Star Wars fan. If you go up to this lower triangle, or this upside down triangle up here, the same tab appears right here. It says create page. They're both going to take you to the same place. Depending on what browser you're using, how big your screen is, one might show up easier than the other, so I always want to show you guys both. So what you want to do is click on create page. And they make it, and you'll see this as we go, Facebook makes it extremely easy for you to accomplish what you want. Mainly because you accomplishing what you want means them getting more business on their website. They're hoping that you eventually spend money with them, so they want to make it as easy and user-friendly for you as possible. So my number one sort of tip before we even get into this is basically always look around for something. Meaning that if you have a question about something, obviously, of course, reach out to me. Like you call me or email me or text me, and I'll help you out with the answer. But chances are, if it's something like small or little with a Facebook thing, it'll be here on the page. There'll be a section for it. So just keep your eyes open for that kind of stuff. So we're going to click business or brand because we are representing our business, not a community. This is going to be more for like celebrities or teams or sports or stuff like that. So we're going to click on get started here, and we're going to do name your page. Your page name, and actually let me get up in my other tab here. I'm going to get up my fake test page that I have for things like this. For whatever reason, this test page, which I tell people every time as a test page, has 67 likes on it. I can say Bri likes it. I don't know why people like my test page because I don't really post from it. But success is success. Can't complain there. So, what was my original point? Right, page name. So my page name here is JDW Real Estate. Now, if I were actually selling full time, I would definitely change that, and we'll go over that in a second. But the main reason I use that is to tell you that your page name does not have to have Coldwell Banker, St. Croix Realty, Coldwell Banker, Schmidt Family of Companies in the page name. Like I said, honestly, if I were to make a new page now, it would almost definitely have it in there. But just sort of like your website my website could be jdwaldvogelrealestate.com. It doesn't need to say with Coldwell Banker in the page name. You don't have to have, or in the URL link, you don't have to have it in your page name, but I would recommend it. So basically, you can have your page name say whatever you want with one exception. So if I wanted to, I could do JD Waldvogel Realtor. This would be one that I'd be tempted to because it's so clean. JD Waldvogel Realtor. It's clean, it's simple, and it's clear about what this page represents. I could also do with Coldwell Banker, because of my region in Michigan, I would, get that K in there, would be Woodland Schmidt. Man, you're going to see how long it takes me to type things today. So, JD Waldvogel with Coldwell Banker, Woodland Schmidt. I could say Realtor with like there are sort of endless options. You could do JD Waldvogel sells homes. You could do JD Waldvogel your favorite realtor, favorite realtor. So my point is that you can do any variation of it. With one exception, what you cannot do is misrepresent yourself. What I mean by that is I could not create my page that say West Michigan Living or St. Croix Lifestyles. You can't misrepresent, because what this page does, if you were to have a page name like that, that would sort of tell the consumer that you are sort of serving a larger purpose than just posting your ads, your listings, your business, right? It's kind of hiding it. It's kind of clever. You're trying to bring in other, essentially you're trying to trick people into coming on and liking your page, thinking it's more than just that, but it's misrepresenting yourself, and it's kind of, essentially it's lying to consumers, lying to your audience. So you do need to reflect that it is you or your brand's business. So the other thing you can do, like if I were a team, like let's say my wife and I sold, we could do, and we went by Married Life Real Estate or something like that. This could absolutely be our page name if this is what we went by on our business cards in our business or anything like that. The one thing you don't want to do is have your business page be or your business page title, your page name, be different than what your business cards or email signature or anything else reflects. If you just go by Chris Powers Real Estate on everything else, you should not have something really fancy and funny on your Facebook page for your title, because that's not consistent. If you're gonna do Married Life Real Estate on Facebook, that better be on your business cards. It better be what your logo looks like. It better be all that sort of stuff. It should be consistent across the board. And that's more of a tip than anything. Just, consistency is one of the big keys when it comes to marketing. But just for the sake of this, we'll do JD Waldvogel with just Coldwell Banker. I should use my proper DBA, but for the sake of this page, which I'll delete after the presentation, we'll do that. Add a category to describe your page. Good news. Start typing in real estate agent, comes up right away. Real estate service, boom, real estate agent. Next thing that comes up is your address. Now, this is one of those compliance things, right? You have to put your office address, the address that you operate out of. This is, and again, I admittedly, and I should look into this more, I don't know, and you guys could tell me better how much the U.S. NAR rules affect you guys if you're all in compliance with that. If St. Croix, if the Virgin Islands have specific real estate laws. I know that every state has different real estate laws. I don't know what your guys' are in terms of advertising. Our company guidelines cover all of our regions. So some of the things might be a little tighter. Like, maybe Michigan has some tighter laws. We try to apply those across the board just so everything is consistent. And we wouldn't do anything to harm you just for the sake of it, obviously. So your address should be your office address. So put in the one here. If you ever want to send birthday gifts come September, or just thank you gifts, this is the address you can do it. Send them to, and just address them to JD, and we'll make sure they get to the right person. Phone number. This would be the best number to contact you. So I would guess most cases are going to be your cell phone number. So just put that right in there. Get all that info done, and then you click continue. So the next tab right here, add a profile picture. This is why I say that you should have a couple things prepared ahead of time before you go in and make this. So I'm going to upload a profile picture. This is going to be when looking at the business page, and you'll see this in a moment. That's this photo right here. And then this is going to be your cover photo. I'm going to go over those more in a second. So I'm going to upload a photo. Your profile picture should be you. That's why I took a little screenshot while I still had myself on screen. Even though it says Carrie Scump in the corner. So that's going to be my profile picture. Now the next one is add a cover photo. Now like I said, that appears right here. You'll notice that I have our logo on the cover photo, my local DBA. I would recommend doing that. You could do cover videos too, and I can create those for you. If you've got a clip or a photo you want, send it my way and say, can you add our logo in the corner and put this across the bottom? Or can you just add the logo right in the middle like this? I recommend having the DBA on your page purely for clarity's sake. And you can have it next to your team's logo, next to your logo, whatever you want. I just think it's best to have it on there, just so you're clear with your audience who you are. So I'm going to upload a cover photo. I'm going to go against everything I just said just for an example. Just because I have this photo saved right here of a beautiful home I would love to live in. I'm going to wait for it to load, and then I'm pretty sure the next thing it does is it takes us to the page, right? It takes us to the skeleton of our business page. So this is what I was going to say, and I'm going to click out of all these squares, but Facebook does a great job of showing you around to your page, what's going on here, what you can do here. So I'm going to X out of these just for now because I know what I'm doing. But one thing you can see here, this photo is not positioned very well. I'm just going to show you this little tip as we go. So if you look at, if I show you the main full-sized photo, you'll see that you have this whole house right here, right? But when you look at it on the page, you're basically just seeing the garage and the front door. That's not a very flattering version of this. So if you click change cover right up here, and again, it disappears and then you hover over it and there it is. Click change cover and do reposition. You can just drag this photo to show what you want. And I don't want too much sky either, so I'm just going to center it kind of like right there. Click save, and boom. So just a quick little tip that you can rearrange that photo like that. Your profile picture is a bit different. It stays pretty consistent there. So this is the skeleton of our page. Now there's a lot that we can change, and they're all sort of equal in terms of importance. So I'm just probably going to move left to right. I'll start over here with some things that we need to edit. Actually, no, because I'm going to make this up as I go along because that's how I work. So we're going to look at these two tips right here. Add a short description and create a username for your page. So I'm going to click see more on the left, and you'll see all these tabs, and we'll talk about those in a second. But if you click on your about section, right, it probably will be right here, second to last. It's going to take you to your about section, right? Like all of your kind of contact info for your page. I would spend time to fill this page out as much as possible. So edit start date, okay, some things like that might not be that important, but let's just say I founded, or I'll say started because I didn't found it. So I say I started selling real estate and I got, well, when did I get licensed? I got licensed in February. So February 2018. I'm not even going to put a day. So started in February. You already have my cell phone number. Email, okay, probably be good to have that. So I'll put my work one right there. You just type it in, click send. Wait for it. All right, got that there. And I'll reload with that there. Enter website. Again, you can put the same thing. So go through and enter your info. But some things like menu and impressum aren't really things we need to worry about, obviously. So the two things I want to show you though are your edit about and our story. Now, your about section and your story section really serve the same purpose. What they do is it gives people an opportunity to get to know you more. It's basically your bio is what it is. The difference is that if you click on about, you'll notice your limit is 255 bytes, which is a really short description. So really, this is 2 or 3 lines. Whereas your story section, you can make a whole post here. You can add a photo. You can do a bunch of cool stuff here. So I'm going to delete. Well, I don't want to delete it. Sorry. Get out of there. I'll show you this test one that I have here and what the difference is. Now, these sections, there is one compliance thing you have to do, and it's really counterintuitive to me as a storyteller. What you have to have in either your about section or your story section, or both, is you need to say, I am a licensed realtor with Coldwell Banker St. Croix Realties St. Croix Realty in St. Croix, Virgin Islands. You need to say, clarify, licensed realtor with so-and-so, with your local DBA. So if you look at my about section right here, I'm going to click edit just to bring it up more. You'll see this is basically as much text as you're going to get in there. It's not that long. Let me count it. 1, 2, 3 sentences, and not including this is a test page one. Now, if you look at my story section, it's a lot longer, and we're going to go over these more in a second, but they both say in there, licensed realtor with so-and-so. That's important. Now, I'm going to get to I'm going to bring up the camera here just for a second, just so to take your eyes off this. Now to get to the story section of things. Why is it not showing me that screen? Oh, there it is. Okay, so I always kind of think of myself in hopefully not like a super kind of douchey way as a storyteller. I went to film school. I focused on writing and directing. I was a songwriter. Story is sort of my deal. And where is the section before story? I'll show you that in a sec, Chris. So when you look at an about section or a biography about yourself, a bio on your website or your story section here, what you need to be, the most powerful sort of bios besides a video, describe you, who you are, and why I should want to work with you, and just to help get to know you more. The number of times I've been on a real estate website or a Facebook page and the bio starts with, I have been serving the West Michigan area as a real estate professional for 17 years. I care about my clients and I put hard work in to make sure. I know. I know all of that. First of all, I hope that you take care of your clients and you've been, that you're a good realtor. That's part of your job. But secondly, I'm on your real estate page. I know that you're a realtor. I know that you've been serving the West Michigan area for that long. There's nothing wrong with having that in there or having some version of that, especially because you do need to legally have that in there because of compliance reasons. But it's very dry. It's very, very dry. So you want to make your bios, and this doesn't just apply to Facebook. This applies to any bio where you have to write about yourself. You want to make it interesting. You want to walk away from reading that knowing more about that person, knowing more about you. So when I went to Gen Blue last year in Vegas, I sat in on a session on storytelling, and we talked about this. And the presenter said kind of two tips. One was write your bio like you're writing a novel. Now, not all of us are creative writers, and that's not our forte. But the idea being, be descriptive, be grand, be bold. Don't stay dry and minimal. The other thing, and this might be more relevant, is write about yourself like you're writing about somebody else. Meaning, instead of, if you were to ask me to describe myself versus if you were to ask me to describe my wife or my dogs or my siblings, I would describe them, maybe not my siblings, I would describe them in a much better light than I would describe myself. Naturally, we aren't that some people have more humility than others, which is whatever, but we're not very, so say, tell me about yourself. You're not going to just launch into how great you are. Whereas if you were to say, tell me about your wife, you'd go, oh, she's the best, right? And you would describe her like that. So write about yourself like you're writing about somebody else. Let me turn that guy off again. Let's see the question right here. It's okay, Chris, don't worry. So yeah, the about section normally is going to be on the left-hand side under more info. This section here. So mine right here, pretty short, right? Like I said, licensed realtor with Coldwell Banker. Let me zoom in so we can see this better. Licensed realtor with Coldwell Banker with Schmidt, state of Michigan. Love my family, my dogs, and I'm a huge soccer fan. Let's get to work buying or selling your next home. Smiley face. Now, I know this seems minimal, but one thing I'm going to talk a lot about when we talk about content and posting is that the words you use and the way you talk are hugely important to people getting a taste of who you are. The story I always tell is, let's go back to screen because I'm talking. The story I always tell is when I worked at my old job in Los Angeles, I ran our company's corporate Twitter account for SourceFed. I also had my own personal one with much less followers, many less followers on that one. But after I moved back to Michigan, my sister and I were talking about SourceFed, and she said, oh, I could always tell when it was you tweeting from the SourceFed account because of the words you used. Now, there were two other people who had access to that Twitter account that tweeted occasionally, and Twitter at that time was 140 characters, so even less than this little about section right here. But in those 140 characters, she could tell when it was me talking as opposed to any of the other people who had access to that account. What that tells me is that the way that we talk, when it comes to video, the mannerisms we use, the phrasing that we use when we describe things, our little phrases that we all have that make us who we are, that comes through when we're talking about Facebook stuff. That comes through when I'm writing a sentence or two with each post. So taking a look at this little bio right here, huge in caps, exclamation point, smiley face, another exclamation point over there, that really helps define who I am. Because everybody else's bio is going to be different. Everybody's bio is different than the other to a degree. And like I said, it defines you. So be yourself when you're talking about these things. And another point too, always talk in first person. Do not be third person. Because when I'm going to your business page, I'm trying to connect with you. Teams are a little bit different, obviously, but I'm always going to say, I am this. I do this, right? So I want to give you guys an example of what I would think is a good story section, and not to toot my own horn, but kind of defining the purpose here. So you see I've got a photo of my dogs up here. which are an important part of my life. And that's why I put it there. Is it real estate related? No, but it's me related. And with a Facebook page, and we'll talk about this a lot in our second session, what you're really trying to sell is you. You're trying to sell your service, your relationship, your personality. So I'm going to give you guys, we're going to go through this bio. Let me see if I can just zoom in a little bit more. There we go. So J.D. Waldvogel, real estate's #1 soccer and dog lover. Okay, so already, instead of just saying J.D. Waldvogel, realtor, and I know I'm not going to pick this apart a lot, it says real estates, so you already know that I'm in the business, #1 soccer and dog lover. So, well, hello there. Thank you for visiting my business page. My name is J.D. Waldvogel, and I'm a licensed realtor with Coldwell Banker, Woodland, Schmidt, and Holland. All right, already I'm compliant. Putting that in there keeps me safe. I've been in real estate for 2 years now, and although it's my career, people are my passion. That's why real estate is such an awesome career and why I love going to work every day. I get to work with you, people. I get to listen to you. I get to help sell your home. I get to work with you and help you buy that dream property. Now, make no mistake, I work for you, and I'm here to make your dreams come true. Then again, that's what they all say. Wink face. Again, little things like that show I'm trying to put humor in there and show that I'm trying to differentiate myself. A bit about me. As the title says, I love soccer and I love my dogs. I've tried combining the two and making my dogs play soccer, but no luck yet. I currently have 2 dogs, Gus and Ramona, pictured above, although we visited the shelter literally yesterday, so we'll see how the dog meeting goes this afternoon. Pictured above. I'm a huge supporter of Manchester United, but don't worry, if you're a Liverpool fan, I'll still work with you. Probably. Oh, and I'm married to a fantastic woman named Jeanette. She also works for Schmidt Family Companies. We love what we do, and we love who we do it with. I hope to hear from you soon. Have a fantastic day. So, that might seem like a bit much, and are people going to, is everyone who likes my page going to come read this? Almost certainly not. But for the people who do, this gives them a bit of an idea of who I am. It just shows them what I'm interested in, what's important to me, what my personality is like. Again, I try to be a little playful, try to be a little funny, and also highlight the things that are important to me. So, so when you're writing your bio, and if I were to have a website, I could copy and paste this and put it right there too. This is a solid bio about me. Now, as I would grow in the industry, maybe 5 years from now or even 2 years from now, if I've been in real estate longer and I have more experience and I have more stories or designations even, I could go in and add that kind of stuff too. Maybe I add another section and say, in my first 2 years, maybe I was really lucky and sold $8 million in volume in my second year. And I say that, although some people might worry about a 2-year-old agent, parentheses, not 2 years old, but 2 years in the industry. See, making up jokes as we go. Even though I've only been in the industry for 2 years, I was blessed enough or lucky enough to close an impressive $8 million the year before. All this to say is I know what I'm doing, and I'm here to take care of you and keep you on the cutting edge. Anything like that, right? So you can go in more and talk about your business and your acumen and your impressive kind of accolades, but keep in mind, if I'm on your real estate page, I know you're a realtor. What I really want to do is get to know you and see what you have to share. So, yeah, that's the about page, right? Add that for compliance. Maybe fill out your little section here on story. Add some business details if you want. If you look on this one, for some weird reason, I don't have my email on my test page, but I have my Twitter, or I have a website, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. I've got all my social media there for you to look at. Let's go back to this one. So pretend you filled all that out. And we're going to click on Home. Go back to the page here. Now, on the left-hand side, as soon as it loads, because, why would you ever load when you need it to load? You'll notice this little thing here, and I can just show you where it says Create Page at Username. And it just says, it's just blank right now. So what your username does is a couple things. One thing I want to show you guys, and a short description. Let me just add that just so that goes away. Licensed realtor with Coldwell Banker Woodland Schmidt. Right? I click save. That little thing will go away. So the next thing is create a username for your page. So go up to the top, the URL to your page right now, the link to your Facebook page. I'm going to get off the little ad mumbo jumbo there, or the admin stuff. But if I zoom in, it's not going to let me zoom in there. The link to my page right now is jd-waldvogel, facebook.com/jd-waldvogel-with-Coldwell-banker-380411, a bunch of numbers, right? That's a long and confusing and annoying link. So what a username does is sort of twofold, and you'll see what the description here. When you create a username, it appears in custom URLs that help people find, remember, and message your page. So I'm going to go back to this page, the test one here. You'll notice that my @username is just the reflection of my page name. It's @JDW Real Estate. But whatever you put in for your username replaces the back end of your URL up here. So right now it's JD Waldvogel with Coldwell Banker, all these numbers. If I click on create page username, I'm going to put in, because this is a website link, right? This is a URL link. There are no spaces. It's one long term. So I'm going to do JD Waldvogel, Coldwell Banker. I don't want to put the with in there because that gets a little long. Now this little green check mark says it's available. I'm going to click create username. You're going to click OK, and now, because that was available, you'll see that the link to my page is now just facebook.com/JD Waldvogel Coldwell Banker. Your username can be whatever you want it to be, but again, you don't want it to be too much different than your page name. If your page name is JD Waldvogel with Coldwell Banker, you don't really want your username to be JD Waldvogel Sells Homes. Because think about that conversation. Oh yeah, just check me out on Facebook. It's JD Waldvogel with Coldwell Banker. Oh cool, what's the link for it? Facebook.com/JDW Sells Homes. Right? It's confusing. So you want it to reflect that. Now, where this can come in handy, go to the luxury page because I have it up real quick. The name of our luxury page is Coldwell Banker Schmidt Luxury. That's not that long, but we made our username CB Schmidt Luxury, just to shorten it a little bit. So it's a little bit different, but the main reason, of it being different was to shorten it. Jesus, hiccups. Was to shorten it and make it easier as opposed to confusing you. So the same thing applies to our Holland page. Our Holland office is called Coldwell Banker Woodland Schmidt Holland, right? The username to that page is just facebook.com/CBWS Holland. See, short and simple. The other reason that your username is important is that that's how you're going to tag a business page. So if I wanted to write a post and tag the Holland page, this is what I would have to type. So I'd say, congrats to JD from our... Now, this is where I'm going to type. I'm going to click the @ symbol because you'll notice they all start with the @. And instead of typing Coldwell Banker Woodland Schmidt Holland, I'm just going to do CBWS, and you'll see things start to come up, and I'll do Holland. And boom, there it is, right there. Coldwell Banker Woodland Schmidt Holland. The whole thing comes up. So that's another reason why usernames are great. So make sure you fill in your username and have something there. I see a lot of pages with blank usernames, and it's detrimental to your page more than anything. So one thing, the next one I'm going to show you right here is your big blue button, as I affectionately call it. It defaults to send message. What that means is that if people go to your business page on their phone or on the computer, that big blue button will give them one direction. So obviously right now it's send message. And if I click on that, what it will do is allow me to send a message to you right now. I'll click on it, and if I use Messenger on Facebook, it'll pop up with the opportunity to message you. Now, if you don't use Messenger, let me take a step back. I would recommend using Messenger or using Send Message purely because it's probably the user-friendliest way to do that. So like I can click on it and I can message you right away without even leaving the app. If you don't use Messenger, if you don't check that, do not use Send Message. I've seen some people, I've been working with them on their business page, and we look at it, and they have a message from a potential client that's 6 months old. And because they don't use Messenger that much, they didn't realize that was there. So like I said, if you don't use iMessage or check messages on Facebook, change this. I'm trying to find a cool example. So one thing you can do is you can change it to edit button, and it's going to give you all these options. Now, a lot of these, like download your app or shop or make a donation, aren't really going to apply that much to us in real estate, but book with you, contact you, learn more, all great options. So let's click on contact you. You can see the send message, the normal one there. Another great one is call now. I'm going to click on that and then click next over here. And I'm just going to add my phone number. Now, I know we already have it on the page, but it's going to make me add it again. Put my cell phone number in there. So click save. Click finish, right there, that big blue button. And now this button will say call now. So I want to show you one of the cool things about this button. I found one of our realtors up in Traverse City. I don't know how well you can see it. It's probably reversed for you too. So you'll see he has the call now button. Right there. If I click the call now button from my phone, the number comes up right away. and I can just click call, and Jeff will be on the line. What all that to show is that call now, and just to show you too, if I were to click send message on that, it would take me to my Messenger app, load, and then boom, I can send Jeff a message, just like that. So the reason why I always recommend call now is just because it's really handy from mobile. It's all about user experience. Now, in this day and age, people are probably more likely to use mobile, or sorry, to message you than call you, because I try to avoid being on the phone as much as possible. But they're both valid options, and I just want to show you how handy that is when you do it from the phone. So that's what that big blue button can do for you. A couple more things for setting up the page. One is going to be, and we've got about 22 minutes left. Oh, we should be fine. I always worry, but we'll be fine. So like I said, you see a lot of tabs over here. A lot of them don't really apply to us. Now, yeah, so one thing I want to talk about in regards to your cover photo and your business page as a whole is that the vast majority of the large percentage of the way we consume content on Facebook is through our newsfeed, meaning that my favorite sports teams, musicians, business pages that I like in general, I will like their page, and I'll probably go to the page once or twice a year, but I get their content by scrolling on my newsfeed, by going to Facebook, clicking the Facebook tab, and then just like we all do, scrolling and seeing what's next. Very rarely do I go to your business page, right? This is how I get the content. Now, not to say that your page shouldn't look good and shouldn't look clean, but your content is going to be much more important than the way your page looks as a skeleton. There was one person before I came here who was changing their cover photo 2 or 3 times a week. It's just kind of a useless thing, just because no one really comes and visits your page to see that every week. Maybe changing it 2 or 3 times a year to keep it seasonal, to keep, maybe you have a cool new listing you want to not advertise, but kind of use as your photo. That's great, but the important things, and we're going to talk about rearranging the tabs in a second. This is the next thing we're going to go over. But I just want to share that as important as all of this is, don't get caught in the weeds. Don't get hung up on these small things, because the content, which we'll talk about next week, is the important bit. So let's go back to rearranging tabs. I have a question here. Chris asked this call now would be my number one choice. I would probably say send message is my number one choice, but again, I genuinely think it comes down to personal preference. In my experience, like, just for example, there's I'm not to show you the layout of Michigan. I live over here. My family lives kind of up here, about 45 minutes away. I'm going to go visit them this weekend, and there's a record shop I want to hit on the way. I wanted to know if they had something in, so I Facebooked them earlier this morning. Say, hey, do you guys have this in? As opposed to calling them and asking them. So same thing with one of the local shelters, right? I know them there, so it's a bit different, but I Facebook message them, and then if it needs to escalate to a phone call, I'll call them back. That's purely personal preference. Some people prefer phone calls and would like that call now button there. What I would recommend is think about what you would prefer and what your clients would prefer. Obviously, you're hoping to get new clients, and that's a different story, but the people you have now, your sphere, what would they normally do? And then kind of go with that route. So I don't know if I'd say I would prefer one or the other. Those two are probably your best bets, but it really depends on what you want. So what we're going to do to rearrange and take out some of these tabs is we're going to go up here, and we're going to click on settings right here. I'm going to click on settings. Now, there's a bunch of settings. There's a bunch of crap all over the place. I don't want you to worry about anything right now except the third one that says edit page right along the top here. Click on edit page. Wait for it to load, and it's going to show you the layout of your page, your current template of tabs. 2 things you can do here. One, you can rearrange tabs. So like I said, about is at the bottom right now. I really think about is one of the more important tabs. I'm going to move that to my top. I'm just going to click and drag. So boom, about is my top one now. I'm also going to put videos as my second one, because I plan to do a lot of videos for my business page. So boom, about and videos, 1 and 2. Shop, and then I'll probably do reviews for 3, because I'm hoping to get some positive reviews. Offers, on the other hand, can't really do that many offers when it comes to real estate. I mean, you could do, free home evaluation, free market analysis, but you can't really do coupons and stuff. So I'm just going to turn this offers tab off. And I'm also somebody personally who, like, I've seen some realtors add a bunch of really fancy tabs to their business page and fill everything out, even if it's redundant and kind of unnecessary. For me, I prefer the cleaner look. And again, personal preference. I prefer the cleaner look, and I prefer to let my content and my ads speak for themselves. That's the kind of stuff that people are going to see more than going to your business page. I see some people pay third parties to like have an IDX feed connected to their Facebook page. And while there's nothing wrong with that, like I said, when I say the vast majority, I mean like 95% of the content we consume is through our news feed. So to pay however much money a year to have an IDX feed right here is not really in your best interest. If I want to look at listings, I'm going to go to Zillow. I'm going to go to Realtor.com or ColdwellBanker.com. I'm not going to go to your business page and search from there. Secondly, some of these tabs that I see people have, they don't even work. I clicked on one the other day for an agent who was coming over to our company who we were recruiting, clicked on their tab, and it literally did not let me search for homes. So that's almost worse if it looks like you can and then you can't do it. So I took out that one. I'm going to take out services. And then I'm going to take out shop because, again, we don't have an online shop in the sense that like a coffee shop or something would. So I've kind of brought it down a little bit. I might rearrange events just a little bit. Now when I go back to my page, right up here in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see those changes reflected. Home, about, videos, reviews, events. The order that I want and the ones that I don't want turned away. So by this point, we've set up our about sections, we've set up the big blue button, our photos are here, our bios are here, our username. Right now, your page is complete, period. The skeleton is built. All of the proper information is where it needs to be. Everything is what it needs to have. Has what it needs to have. There are two more things we're going to talk about today. One's going to be inviting your friends, and one's going to be how to post. And then next week, like I said, it'll be what to post, what kind of content. So, sorry, not next week, 2 weeks from now. I'm in Ohio next week, so it wasn't available to do this back to back. So 2 weeks from now, we'll talk about what to post. Anyway, the next step really is sort of twofold. Is you have to start posting to your page, and you have to invite people to your page. And this is one of those things too, where it's like, okay, I don't want to invite people to my page and have it be empty, but I don't want to start posting content that nobody's going to see. Because if I just start posting things right now, there's literally nobody on my page to see it. So a lot of people approach this differently because they feel weird about it. I've had some people post for 2 weeks and then start inviting people because they're like, they want people to see that they have a back catalog of content. There's nothing wrong with that, and I get the idea, but 2 weeks worth of content that you're posting to nobody just to show people when they do come that their stuff is a bit much. I would do something a lot different, or not a lot different. I would say maybe post 2 or 3 things and then start inviting people. Or if you really want to, invite everybody that you want to invite without having any content there. But once they start pouring in, start posting immediately. Have stuff prepared. So I'm going to show you how to invite people first, and then we'll talk about posting a little bit. So right here, you see their names, right? It literally says invite and then their names. Now, once you get to a bigger place on your page, once your page grows more than like 5 people, you will probably get a section down here that says community. And I have one that says invite friends. So if I click invite friends, I can do a couple things. I can go through and select who I want to invite, or I can click select all. Now, select all is a newer feature. Well, they used to have it and then they took it away, and now they I'm talking the past couple of months, re-added it. So from clicking select all, I can obviously all my friends and then click send invite, and they'll all get a notification that says JD Waldvogel invited you to like his business page. And you'll see the little message up here. Hi, I'm inviting you to like my page because I thought you might be interested in supporting it. You'll get updates on what's new. That's crap. That's just really formulaic, right? Hey everyone, JD here. And then write a little bio, right? Not a bio, but write a little 2 or 3 lines describing what it is. Make it personal, right? Like I said, make it personal. So that's how you're going to want to do that. Write a little bio there. Now, if you don't want to select all, if there are some, you can do select all and go, yeah, but I don't want this person, and this person to be on it. Or maybe you want to do the reverse where you just unselect all and say, and go one by one, like this. That's also an option. It's just more time consuming. Some people always ask me, okay, well, should I invite all my other realtor friends? Should I invite people from other states, other parts of the country, other parts of the world? My mindset, and I come from a digital media background where, you just kind of throw crap on the wall and see what sticks, is invite everybody. If there's a particular person that you don't want to invite for a particular reason, that's one thing, but invite everybody that you feel comfortable inviting to your page, because you never know what's going to happen. Like this guy right here, Jonathan Holman, one of my best friends, lives in Los Angeles. Is he going to care about a local real estate page in West Michigan? Probably not. But he might have people he can refer to me. He might be moving somewhere in LA and need an agent that I can get a referral out of. He might move across the country, or he might know somebody who is looking for an agent or looking for a referral. You never know where, and I don't need to tell you this, you never know where your clients are going to come from, where your business is going to come from. So I think it's always best, and again, it's up to you when they get to your page for you to keep them there, for you to post content that's interesting and relevant. But I would invite everybody that you feel comfortable with. Now, exiting out of that, going back to the test page here, that doesn't appear. So you can click see all friends, and I know it's a little time consuming, a little tedious, but invite. Take the time to do it. The people you can invite are anybody that you are personally friends with on Facebook. So if you go back to my personal page, which by the way, if you're not friends with me, please add me as a friend. I'd love to connect with you guys. If you go back to your personal page, I've got 708 friends, and I'd say 700 of them are all realtors. If you go back to that, all 708 of these people I can invite to my business page, which means I can send them a personal invite. If I do not have them as a personal friend, I cannot send them a personal invitation on Facebook. Some people get upset about that, but think about it. Do you want anybody on Facebook to be able to send you notifications and invite you to their business page? No, that would be really, really annoying. So you can only invite people you're friends with. Now, other thing you could do, maybe you've got a lot of clients in email but not on Facebook, is you could shoot up an email or write up an email, copy this link, and just say, "Hi everyone, I've started a new business page for Facebook," and you kind of explain it, and then you say, "Click this link below to go like the page." So you can still get your page out there, but you can't personally invite people you're not friends with, if that makes sense. So another thing you can do though, so if you click invite, this will go as a notification up here. And I think I actually just got one, yeah, right here. Invites you to like browse for a cause, Traverse City, a cancer research thing. That's what the notification will look like. And if you write a personal message, that will appear too. The other thing you can do is that if you click share, right up here on this top bar, you can write on or share a post to your timeline, to your personal page about this, and just say, "Hey everyone, just started a business page, a real estate page for Facebook. Click below to stay updated with funny videos," or something like that, right? And then if I click post, that will appear as a post on my personal page to my friends. So then while they are scrolling, they will see that post come up. Now, my point, or some people say, well, won't that annoy them if I do both? No, you're not going to annoy them. That's not how it works. But you really should never be worried about annoying people unless you're posting 4 videos a day, right? So I would always double cover, because I've gone onto computers with agents where they've got 75 notifications up here, and I've gone to people where they don't scroll ever. So why not do both? So when you start inviting your friends to your business page, normally what happens is that you get a bunch of likes right in the beginning, right? So if I invite 700 friends, 708 friends, I could possibly get, oh great, my mouse just died. I could possibly get about 200 to 300 of them over. If I invited 708 people and I got 200 likes because of that, I would count myself lucky, because that's a pretty great rate. But after those 200 people come over, it's going to be a lot more work to get more likes on our page. It's going to be through the content I post, the ads I do, all that sort of stuff. So, if you get a great surge in the beginning, that's awesome, but don't expect 2 things. A, don't expect that to continue that heavily, that quickly, all the time. And B, if it doesn't happen that quickly all the time afterwards, don't worry, because that's incredibly natural. Normally when you do a business page, like I said, you get that big surge in the beginning, but then it really is just over time, with the ads and the content you do, getting people to your page. For example, the Holland page, in January of last year, had about 350 likes on the page. This time now, it's got 946 likes, which we just saw when we looked at it a couple minutes ago. All of those likes, or the majority of those likes that we got over that past year, came from our ads. Now, we spend a decent amount of money per week on the page, But our ads are quote unquote so good that people like the page because they want to see what else we have to share, what other content we have for them. So it's going to be a big quick climb and then a slow burn, right? So that's how you're going to invite people, those two ways. Last thing we're going to go over is how to share content to your business page, okay? We're going to go over a couple ways to do that. And let me get out of here quick, and I'm going to go to our blog.coldwellbanker.com. Now, again, we are going to talk about what kind of stuff to post and where to find stuff next week. But for now, I'm just going to show you how to do it. So I'm going to click this article from our Blue Matters blog, coldwellbanker.com/blog, and I'm going to show you what to do. This method will work for 95% of all websites online. If you want to share a listing from coldwellbanker.com, you can do it this way. If you find a really interesting post from this blog, if you find an interesting post from HGTV, from some blog that you follow, this method will work. Now, most websites also have these tabs over here, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, where you can click on here and share to Facebook. It is slightly quicker, but there are a couple things that you cannot do from that button, and that's why I don't use it. So I'm going to show you, and once you get the hang of this, it won't take that much time at all, right? So I'm going to show you two things, I'm just going to show you what to do. So have your business page up. Well, let's get rid of this one. Let's use the new one that we made. Have your business page up, and then in another tab, have that content up. So go to the article. First tip, always at least skim the article. Skim what you're doing, right? Okay, because I've seen people post stuff and then they click on it and they're like, oh, I didn't realize I was posting that, and they kind of freak out. Don't want that to happen to you. So make sure you've at least skimmed what you're posting, okay? Step 2, go up to the link to the URL at the top and copy it. Command-C, right-click and copy, whatever works for you. So you got that link copied. Next, go back to your business page. We'll go where it says write a post and paste that in. And you'll see what it did. It's called it populates. It auto-populated, which means it pulled in that photo like that. The link is here. Now, the next step, so you've seen the photo there, you see the text there. The next step, always delete this link. Always, always, always delete this link. Delete. It's messy, it messes with the algorithm, and it's not helpful for you. All right, so delete the link and then write something. Like I said earlier, writing something is so important, okay? Don't just write, wow, or interesting read. That gives me nothing, right? That is almost as good as writing nothing at all. But when we go back to, if you, let's show you this. If you look at that dog up there, Gus, we got him in Los Angeles. And then we had to move him to Michigan when we moved over there. So you'll see that this article is about how to keep your pet stress-free during a move. So what I could do is write something that says, to make it personal to me, say, we moved our little dog, Gus, from LA to Michigan a couple of years ago. Oh, wow, that's just a slaughter of that word. A couple of years ago. Wish we would have known some of these, I know, I see it, these tips, right? So already that gives you a little context as to why I'm sharing this piece. Why it's relevant to me, okay? Same thing goes for you. If I told everybody on this call to share this post to their business page, we would all hopefully write something different. And that's good. That's the goal. We want to get to know each other, or get to know you through what you write, okay? So give me something. And this is a good length. We've got a couple lines here. One more line would be okay, but you don't want it to be too long, but you also don't want it to be too short. You want to find that middle ground. 2 to 3 lines max, I would recommend. We got the photo. I'm going to show you the 2 things you can do from here, the copy and paste method, that you wouldn't be able to do from just clicking that Facebook button. The first one is you can add more photos here. So you see this little plus sign right here? If I click on this, it's going to allow me to add more photos. So I just have a couple random ones on the computer. I'm going to click 2 of them. I'm going to click open, and you'll see them loading. This is going to make this post into a carousel post. Now this would be especially useful for like listings if you want to showcase 3 or 4, up to 5 photos of your listing. I wouldn't do it for like an article like that, but what you'll see is I've got 3 slides here. 1, 2, 3. 2 cool things you can do here. One is you can rearrange them. So maybe I want to start with this house. And you'll see that it's zoomed in a little bit. That's not how it'll appear at the end. I'll show you in a minute. It's for a listing. You want to start with the exterior, and then you want the outdoors one to be next, and finally you want the dog that comes with the house to be third. So you can rearrange them. Secondly, you can edit the text beneath each particular slide. So I can say here, check out this lovely exterior. Then I can click away, go to the next one and say, what a wonderful view from the back porch. And then I can just say for the third one, puppy. Well, that's not a puppy. Dog, right? So again, you can edit each slide to reflect something different. And again, for an article about the dog thing, I probably wouldn't do this, but for like a listing, it's great because you can add multiple photos and it's more engaging. Now, the other thing you can do from this method that you can't do from the other one is down here where it says publish. If I click publish, it'll go live right now. Nothing wrong with that at all. But maybe I already published something a couple minutes ago and I want to do a post for Tuesday. I always recommend, and we'll talk about this next week, a good benchmark is if you can post 5 things a week, Monday through Friday. If you can do 7, that's even better. But if you can do 5 things, a week, Monday through Friday, you have content going out, that's a good place. That's 5 opportunities your sphere has to see you, to hear from you, to connect with you. But maybe you don't have time every day to post something. Well, spend time on Monday or Sunday scheduling out the rest of the week, and this is how you would do that. So right next to publish, there's a little triangle. Again, I'm going to click on that, and the top thing here is schedule. I'm going to click schedule. I'm going to schedule this for tomorrow, the 8th at 2:00 p.m. And then I click schedule, and we're good to go. Now, right now, I'm going to post it live just to show you something, but it'll appear if you, oh, it's not going to show me right now. So I'll show you this. Oh, this is my other page. It'll appear here, and it'll say one scheduled post, scheduled for today at 1 p.m. Now, remember, only you can see that. No one else can see that. So like I was saying a second ago, you see how the photos are sort of zoomed in and kind of strange. If I post this to my page, publish it, it won't look like that. I don't know. See, you'll see that they're actually more zoomed out and they're more the way that we want them to. I don't know why Facebook does that. It's one of those little annoying things. That's just the way the world is right now. But your photo will look correct when you post it out, when you publish it. Now, maybe you don't want this. You go, oops, shoot, I screwed up. Well, you can edit the post. You can change the text a little bit if you want to. Or, discard changes, you can just straight up go back on these 3 little dots up here, go back down, delete it. 2 more things I want to show you guys real quick, and then we'll be done. First is video. If you want to upload a photo or video to your business page, again, you can do all of this from your phone, but from a computer, you're going to click photo video right here, or you can click up here where it says photo or video, and you're just going to click upload photos and videos. Then it's going to ask you to find that file, right? If you do a photo, you just want to click on it, boom, bring it up like that. Or you can find the video file and open it here. Now, from a business page, I would always recommend whatever you post to have some sort of media attached to it. What I mean by that is, like we did earlier, we copied and pasted a link. That's totally fine. If you're going to post something, post a video, a link, or a photo with it. Don't just post a status update like you do on a personal page. There are, of course, always exceptions to the rule, but generally speaking, those posts have a much smaller reach than they would with media attached to it. Video is always going to perform best, but a link or a photo is also much better than just text, okay? So always have something attached to it. So this is what the video thing looks like. It's a little bit different. They changed it about 2 months ago, so I want to just go over this quick with you. So first thing you see up here is add a title for your video. So if you have a new listing, your title might just be the address of that video. Because this is our blue commercial for Coldwell Banker, if I were posting this, I might just say something like this is a shorter version. Coldwell Banker is blue. Whoops, is blue, right? That's the title. And then for the description, where it says describe your video, this is going to be just like any other sort of write something section. So this is where you want to put a little bit more. So why do I love Coldwell Banker? Because of this, because we're 92,000 agents strong, because we have the global luxury, whatever you want. But this is going to be longer. This is that 2 to 3 sentences. Tags. Tags are a little bit confusing, but basically they're just keywords. And it says, add tags by typing in relevant topics to your videos. Tags help people find your posts on search and newsfeed. Now, tags are Tags are far more important on YouTube than they are on Facebook, and they're still changing on Facebook all the time. So I would put in Coldwell Banker, whoops, and click enter. I'd put in real estate, and you'll see that actually pop up. Maybe I'll do real estate broker as well. You might want to put in St. Croix because that's your location, U.S. Virgin Islands. Maybe you want to put, one thing that I always like to do is like something like Zillow. Tag Zillow and tag realtors, realtor.com, because they're related to your business, and people who search those might see your stuff. It's kind of one of those kind of intuitive kind of guesswork sort of things, but it's based off of, you know, smart ideas. You can add up to 8. So there's 7 right now. I'm not going to add the 8th. Thumbnail. You see the right-hand side right here? As you go down the line, thumbnail, it's going to give you 10 images from your video to use as your thumbnail. A thumbnail, just as a very general overview, is when you go to YouTube, these are all thumbnails. A thumbnail is the image you see that represents a video. On Facebook, they're much less important than they are on YouTube, because on Facebook, videos autoplay. So that's why you don't need to worry about it too much, but make sure it's a nice one. You can pick just this blue one. They auto-generate 10 images from your video, or you can click Add Image and add a custom one from your computer to be the thumbnail. Let's see, question I missed here. Is it better to upload the video using the link option in ads? I think what you're asking, Chris, is it better to upload the video directly, or is it better to use it on Vimeo or YouTube? The answer to that is always, if you are doing a video, whether it's for an ad or for something, just a post on Facebook, always upload it directly to Facebook. And I'll show you why in a quick second. And I'll show you, yeah, that'll be a great kind of segue. So distribution, you don't need to worry about. Subtitles and captions, you don't really need to worry about with listing videos. That's kind of gets a little more in depth. But once you're done with these 2 main ones, again, you just click publish now, or schedule, and then your video will go uploaded, okay? So, I know we're already a little bit over. We started late, but I don't want to go too far over your time, but I'll show you what I mean by that. So, my brother is a musician, local musician, tours, went to New York for some tours, for some shows and stuff, and I want to show you an example. Why is there a reminder? Oh, I did that already, sorry. So I want to show you why you should post the video directly to Facebook versus a link. And then I'm going to show you the last thing I wanted to share with you, and then we'll be done. So 5 minutes max, okay? My brother's a musician, and when he started his Facebook page, I told myself I wasn't going to get involved in help because I didn't want to add that workload to my life. And then I saw how poorly he was running it, and then I decided, dang it, I have to go help him, right? So I want to show you, he had a new single come out. I mean, I think I went too far back at this point. Nope, this was almost a year ago now, crazy. Over a year ago. This was a post that he did for his new single. I maximized it. So, and he boosted, I don't think he did boost this, but if you were to boost this, this would have been the ad, right? Now, I want to show you a bunch of things wrong here. First of all, there is a YouTube link directly in the text up here. Like I said, never keep the link in your post generally. There are exceptions again, but we don't have time for those right now. But generally, never keep the link in there. Secondly, there is a see more. He typed so much that if I want to read everything he typed, I have to click see more. Now that's not the worst mistake, the worst thing to happen, but if this is an ad, keep in mind, and we'll talk about this in the last couple sessions, if I see your ad on Facebook, I owe you nothing. It is up to you to get me interested in your content, whether it's a new listing, a new coffee, a new music thing, right? Any of that. It's up to you to get me interested. And if I have to click to see more, this is on a desktop. Think about how much text that would be on my phone, right? If I have to click to see more just to see what you want me to see, I'm not going to do that. That's too much work. So if I click see more, this is more. Thirdly, like I said, there's already one link here. Get this, 2 links in one post that go to 2 separate sources. One goes to Bandcamp, one goes to YouTube. You do not want to put 2 confusing links in the exact same post. Fourth, now this gets a little nitty-gritty, or a little into the weeds here. You'll see the last line of this paragraph say, video directed by the one and only Miles Ferguson. Nothing wrong with giving credit where credit's due, but Miles is a buddy of his that directed the music video. If you're trying to get people involved and interested in your content, and I know we're talking about a song here, but the same rule applies to real estate. bluntly, I don't care who directed the music video unless it's somebody famous. Unless you said directed by Christopher Nolan, directed by Quentin Tarantino, directed by Taylor Swift, right? I don't care who directed the video if I don't know who they are. So take that text out. And fourthly, to go back to your question, Chris, he shared a YouTube link. This is what a YouTube link looks like on Facebook. It's a small square, says YouTube, and it says the title and stuff. If I want to watch it, I have to click and wait for it to load, and the video will start on YouTube. I don't want to do that, especially if I'm on my phone, because then it brings up the YouTube on Safari, and then it goes to the app, and it gets really, really messy. So, if possible, never. I shouldn't even say that. I should just be very, very direct with this. Do not share Vimeo and YouTube links to Facebook unless you have no other option. If you have cool drone footage of one of your listings, and you have the Vimeo link from the videographer, from the drone pilot, ask them for the file. Say, may I have the video file, please? Because I saw this and I said, Caleb, you got to add me to your page and let me do an ad for you, buddy. Zoomed out, go back to the top, because I pinned it to the top. This was the post that I did for his page, right? So I paused it, but automatically it started playing. The video auto-played. If you were to click resume, wow, that's really loud. Now, video plays without sound on Facebook automatically unless you have a settings switch. But the idea is part of the clip played automatically. You don't have to click to watch it. I'm going to turn the volume down on my computer a lot just to show you an example. I went right to one main part of the song to try to draw you in, so it wasn't just like the beginning kind of acoustic part. The clip's only 30 seconds long. It's not that long, and there's no links up here. There's a link right here. You can click Shop Now, and it'll bring you to the Bandcamp to download the song. But all you have up here is a little bit of text. And hey, that's a year ago today, June 7th. A little bit of text up here and one link. And the text is about the person. It's not about Caleb. It's not about his buddy who directed it. It says, presenting the song, the new single from Sparkplug, available on iTunes, Bandcamp, and Spotify. So if you use any of those services, you can find it there. Stuff for you, right? So that's why you should always upload video directly to Facebook. Last thing, literally the last thing. If you ever find a post on your news feed that you want to share to your business page, maybe from a different realtor, maybe from like a pure, some sort of anything that I'm trying to find a great example that I could show for you. Michigan Radio, right? Maybe I wanted to share this event to my business page, but it's not from a different site, right? All you got to do is where it says share, down here, click on that, and then go to the bottom option, share to a page. Click on that, and boom. You're sharing to the page you manage. Your business page should be selected. If you have more than one business page, make sure you click to the right one. But then just say something like, can't wait to attend. This is always a fantastic event. Hope to see you guys there. And then you just click post, and that'll go right to your business page from your newsfeed. So yeah, I know that we're a few minutes over, and I'm sorry about that, but that's it. That's all I got for you guys today. Just the hows on how to do this stuff. If you want some sort of homework for next time, if you don't have a business page, make one. Go through all those steps that we went to. Like I said, I'm going to throw this up on YouTube, and I'll send a link to Bri to kind of, or maybe to Corinne, or to both, to send it out to you guys. Say, hey, if you missed it, here's the recording. Next week, we're going to talk about what to post. My philosophy behind social media, where our companies comes from, what our goals are, and what kind of stuff to post to your business page. Not next week, like I already said, 2 weeks from now. That's what we're going to cover. As always, if you guys have questions in the meantime, give me a call, give me a text, shoot me an email. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But thank you guys for taking time out of your day to be here. I hope you have a great rest of your day and a great weekend starting. Well, take an early weekend to start tomorrow. I mean, why even? As always, you guys are great, and I will see you hopefully soon. Bye. Oh, it's always awkward. End the webinar.